Well, what the hell is he up to now, I hear you ask? And that is indeed a very good question. I'm going on the old adage, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm going to do a shopping haul. I shouldn't laugh really, because my daughter does her own channel with a shopping haul, The World of Mummy and Oscar B. And these type of channels seem to be very, very popular. I don't intend to showing you what I've got to eat for the week. That is not my particular scene, but good luck to those that do enjoy it and do them. We shouldn't really knock anything, because all contributions are valuable, and YouTube does give a forum for that. No, my haul this week is more of an unboxing, as it were, and not reasons which those of you that don't know me would immediately think. I'm in my railway room, my model railway room, although there isn't a model railway to speak of at the moment. I've got everything together, all the rolling stock, bits and pieces, track and what have you, and this year is the year that it's going to be laid out and hopefully made to run. But obviously I've been buying lots of bits and pieces to go with it, and today I'm going to open 1, 2, 3 boxes, and let's have a look and see what's in them, shall we? Right, this is box number 1. Now, every good railway station deserves to have a footbridge between its platforms, and as my layout is roughly based as GWR in origin, although now the Western Region of British Railways, it seemed appropriate to have a covered footbridge, and I managed to acquire one second hand at a reasonably nice price. It's a Bachmann one. I won't tell you what I paid for it, but there's nothing like the 70 odd quid that a lot of people want for them brand new. Again, it's not my place here to really criticise too much, but I do wonder whether some manufacturers are now getting a little bit too expensive, certainly for the average modeller. I can't complain. At least so far I have the means to afford these things just. But those who can't, I feel a bit sorry for them, because at what point do you stop, you know? There are those who want all the bells and whistles, but if you want all the bells and whistles, you've got to pay for them. So, at least Hornby, out of all the manufacturers, do a more pocket money price range, if you could call that, with their railroad range. So I've not been paid by Hornby to say that, but it is out there, and that's true. And look, what a lovely looking footbridge that is. I'll put it down there, well, bring it towards the camera. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful model? I think that will fit very, very nicely on my layout. Yes, very pleased with that. I actually paid less than half the recommended retail price. Very good, very good. Now, this next box is a lot more significant. 2 major announcements we've made this year. One, that the famous Worley Model Railway Show at the NEC will, at least for the foreseeable future, not take place. The cost of putting everything on has just gone up too much. With the cost of energy, venues have had to put their prices up, and plus of course the insurance companies want ever increasing amounts of money for ever seemingly decreasing amounts of money that they want to pay out. And things have got a bit difficult. And just before that, my shop of choice over many years, Hatton's of Liverpool, announced that they were going to be closing down in a phased structure because they weren't out of money. It's just that they could see the writing on the wall if they didn't close their business now. That is a great shame. It does leave another shop that I use, which I'm happy to say about, and that is Rails of Sheffield. They've always been good where Hatton's haven't been able to supply. Rails have usually done, and I'm now going to move my whole-time allegiance over to them. But what a shame. Hatton's have been around for 77 years. They've always served me very, very well. It's a great shame they're closing, but goodbye Hatton's. So this box is very significant. It is the last box I shall ever have from Hatton's. And I took advantage of their closing down sale to buy some platform signage. Now you won't be able to see very much in here. But they're odd little bits and pieces like way in, way out, running in boards, platforms, etc, from Pico. That's that one. I got a little set of sit-in figures and a couple of benches from Hornby. There we go. And of course every good bit of track needs its underlay. Now I've got a quantity of underlay, but I'm going to need more for the layout that I've built. So I've got some underlay here. I suppose I ought to frame that, hadn't I? Hatton's invoice. It's very sad when you see good, long-established businesses feeling that they're forced to close because of the simple cost of existence. I shouldn't really get political, but I just wonder, you know, has the government got a magic wand to wave? Because it certainly seems in this country at the moment that everything that businesses have to pay out seems to be destined to stop them trading. I really don't get that. I really don't get that. It seems that we're happier importing stuff than actually encouraging people to actually make it in our own country. But there you go. Anyway, this third box, I've already opened the outer box. This is one from Rails of Sheffield. It's one of the new models from EFE Rail. One of the things that Bachmann did when they took over EFE was introduce a railway range. And generally speaking, their models are a wee bit cheaper than the Bachmann range. Whether this was their idea of copying the Hornby Railroad range, I have absolutely no idea. But anyway, my main sort of collection is basically the British Railways era, sort of 1950s up to probably 1969, 1970. Well, certainly before British Railways Blue, so let's say before 1965-ish. And I have a particular thing about prototypes, modern prototypes, the modernisation plan, and earlier diesel electrics and early diesel multiple units. And what I got here is, and this was a surprising model, I wouldn't have expected anybody to produce these, but in 1937 Oliver Bullard was appointed as Chief Mechanical Engineer of the Southern Railway, and he was assisted at the time by Mr. Rayworth, who was the electrical engineer. And between the two of them, they came up with, because the Southern Railway was rapidly electrifying on the third rail, they came up basically with an idea for a locomotive which wouldn't lose its current in the gaps between the third rails going over points and that. So he designed two locomotives, what became 2001 and 2002. Originally on the Southern Railway it was CC1 and CC2, and these were called boosters. because the current was supplied not direct to the traction motors from the third rail pickup, but that was supplied to a system that ran through a generator and a large flywheel that ensured that power was always supplied to the traction motors, and it would keep going even when you're going across a gap, and that is why they were called boosters. They also benefited from electrically controlled boilers for train heating, as with a lot of bullied stuff. Sorry, there we go. Very, very advanced for its time, and if any of you notice the similarity in the front end, you'll have a closer view in a minute, to the two HAL electric units that Bullied designed. It's probably deliberate because the front ends were made at the same time and in the same factory to save money. But anyway, I'll put that down there for now, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook it up to the test track on the other table, and we'll have a look at it over there. I'm going to run it towards you with its head code lighting on, and I've also raised the pantograph because in some yards, Heather Green particularly, obviously it's rather dangerous to have people wandering around with the third rail live, so pick up was from overhead electric wires in those places. I'm going to run it along with the pantograph up, then back with the pantograph down, and then along again with the head codes lit up, just so you can have a good look at it. So here goes. It seems to be responding very well to slow speed controls. There we are. In a reverse direction. And away we go. Right. And there it is. That is the Bullied stroke Rayworth booster, the second of the two locomotives that they built. There was a third one which was numbered 2003, which was actually built by British Railways to a totally different design. It's been a pretty useless unboxing really, but anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. If it proves popular, perhaps I'll unbox some more of my collection of logos as time goes on, and you can have a look at all the different prototypes and that I've got. It's quite an interesting collection, and it's good that model manufacturers are actually producing them for us to enjoy. So that'll be it for now. Cheerio, and see you soon.